Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where today I'm going to do something I said I wouldn't do. I'm playing the Jaguar 1 again, and you're probably all wondering, well, why? You slated it in your first review video, it was awful, you did the live stream, said you'd never play it again. Well, I didn't say I'd never play it again, I said I wouldn't play it for a while, but there is a reason, and it's a good reason. Wargaming have buffed it. So it's only fair for me to come back and give it another try, give it another shot. So what have they done? What has Wargaming done to the Jag? Well, the 90-degree turret traverse that was limited to 90 degrees, 45 left, 45 right, has been removed, and the turret, or ATGM launcher I should say, can now traverse a full 360 degrees. The standard reload is now 19.5 seconds, when it used to be 22. This makes the rounds per minute 2.73 instead of 3.08. All of this comes together to give us a new DPM of 4,528 when it used to be 4,013. So those are the numbers. But are they noticeable in-game? Are these changes noticeable when you actually play this thing? My gut answer is yes. The traverse on the turret makes the Jag infinitely more playable. It's actually quite nice, and that must mean something. Given, I hope that means something to you guys, given how badly I slated this thing the first time around. And yeah, the full turret traverse. It's so much nicer to play this thing. And the faster reload, it's, what is it? What did I say? 19.5 seconds from 22. Doesn't sound like a huge difference, but when you've got the right crew in here, the right equipment, then yes, that is a very noticeable change, and it is quite nice. I've just fired there. We've got 5 seconds left on this reload. Let's see how long the reload is. I can't actually remember off the top of my head. So 1 second, 14.6 seconds. There you go. So with the right crew and equipment, you've got 14.6 second reload. And that's really nice, especially for ATGMs that do, what is it, 1400 average alpha? Something like that. Yeah, it's very, very nice. Especially when you consider that the Weasel's reload is a lot longer than that. So having this very sharp, snappy reload is very nice. There you go. Nice full damage pen there on the BU. But yeah, comparing the reload, when you play the Weasel enough, you get used to that, you get accustomed to this long reload. This is quite nice. This is a very nice, it's got a very nice feel to the reload. Which all comes around to me saying that I like the changes that Wargaming have made, because I own this tank. This isn't a loan vehicle from Wargaming. I bought this with my own gold. So initially, and this is why I slated it so badly to begin with, this is why I was so disappointed with it, because I had actually spent my money on it. And that probably does account for why I slated it so badly, but but now when I play it, I do not feel disappointed. I really don't. I mean, it's taken some time to get used to. It's a different play style, but once you can find its niche, it's a nice tank to play. And I do not feel disappointed when I play this thing. It's not a match for the Weasel, and you can see that right here, but it certainly is not a terrible premium. And, I would say it's a decent support TD. It fits that role of a TD, and it fits it quite well. And it's still on sale. It's 11,500 gold, and as far as I'm aware, as far as I'm concerned, I think it is actually worth that. But with that said, I've bigged it up a little bit now, and I've said it's worth it. But with that said, there are some things that do need to be noted, and this isn't the first time this is happening with a Cold War tank. There are other tanks in Cold War that have these limitations. There is a light machine gun. You can see it on the top of the vehicle. There's a light machine gun on the left-hand side of the commander's cupola. When you traverse the turret or the ATGM launcher to the right-hand side of the vehicle, you lose gun depression for the section where the machine gun sits. For that small section, you lose gun depression where the machine gun is. Now, something similar happens with the T-72 Ural and the spaced armor wings that it's got. I'll call them wings. Those spaced armor wings that are folded in, that limits your gun depression as the barrel traverses over them. And the same thing happens with the M113. That has a 50 caliber machine gun sitting on top of it, and you lose gun depression when you're traversing the barrel over the machine, the 50 caliber. So, yeah, it's not the first tank that has these limitations, but it's just something to be aware of, because in particular places it can get a little frustrating when you're mid-launch with an ATGM and suddenly, boom, your aim goes skyward because you've traversed over where the machine gun is. So it can be frustrating, but you just need to be aware of it, and just need to avoid it as an area of annoyance, really. So yeah, there we have it, the Jaguar 1. It's no longer a steaming pile of horse manure. It is a functional TD, and you can pull off some very decent wins. Speaking of decent wins, the game you're seeing in the background here is one of those decent wins. Now, I've been jabbering for, what is it now? I've been talking for about 6 minutes. It is now 4 versus 4, and one of those TD, well, that TD is a 477. So I was not looking at this game or approaching the end game here, the section we're in now. I wasn't approaching this as a, oh yeah, we've won this for sure, because the 477 is a beast. The BU, no, it's not terrible. Abrams, again, not terrible. Leclerc, again, not terrible. There are some good vehicles here. They're all, the heavies anyway, are all top tier heavies. 477 is a tough nut to crack, but this guy didn't move and made that one quite easy for me. And that is the advantage of the Jaguar. In the Weasel, you may have low rolled and left him on 100 hit points, but in the Jag, no, you've definitely got it. And how I only did 54 damage to that BU, I don't know. It's a mystery. It's one of Wargaming's mysteries, but fortunately, my teammate helps me out with that one. I've used my smoke to try and avoid what I thought would have been a shot coming from that BU, and now I'm kind of, sort of Weasel-ish. Slap the Leclerc, leave him on, what's that, 119 I think I left him on. Waiting for the reload, I decide to make use of the smoke that's already here from somebody else, which is very fortunate, because that did mean the, I think it's a BU, no, the Abrams didn't see me flying through there, or if they did, they didn't notice me enough to, put a shot in, which would have been a benefit to them. And the Abrams has gone. We're on 5 kills, 8,235 damage. It's a 1 versus 1, and I remember this. My palms were sweaty. My heart rate was high. But fortunately, we kind of pull off a Weasel move where we use the concealment, we use the trees, we use the buildings to lose line of sight to the Leclerc. And it's now very clear they don't have a clue where I am. So keep them spotted. Wait for the opportune moment for, you've got to wait for the environment, the topography to be right for you to put in an ATGM that will hit the target, not a building or a rock or cover or a house or whatever. That's what I'm doing here. I'm biding my time, and I'm waiting for the right opportunity to plant a shot straight into the back end of the Leclerc that has no idea where I am. Open field, shot goes out, catch him in the rear, and there's the kill. Whew! That was one heck of a game. And that is one of the best games I've had in the Jaguar. And, it comes after the buff. So, in my opinion, yes, the buffs have been excellent. They've been well worth it. And I do think the Jaguar 1 is now worth the 11,500 gold. Alright folks, that's about all I have for this one. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If not, a dislike. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you in the next one.